One more call for listening devices.
No hands.
Rhonda usually has one, right?
He does.
So
I
I
think
think
so.
I just have one out.
Get one out, yeah.
I was some news come across saw is that Vince Gill on yeah that's he's anything else besides that? Yeah, I'm like, cause I listened to the
Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and kind of get started here. This is Brett speaking. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Before we go any further, I wanted to make sure everyone was aware that we have snacks available for sale. They are $1 each. We will, although they're not here yet, have soda available as well. Julia, you wanted to say what's available?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have Chips Ahoy. We've got just a few left of the vanilla Oreos and then the regular Oreos or the golden Oreos. Those are all 2 for $1. We have some delicious thick brownies. Some have a swirl on top, some have pumpkins. One has like a vanilla swirl, and we have one left of a caramel swirl. We have crunchy Cheetos, 2 bags of classic Lay's, 3 bags of Doritos, a sweet and salty nut mix, like a trail mix, and then we have a lot of Red Hot Ripley's. Red Hot Riplets. Thank you. Guess who's not from St. Louis?
All right, thank you, Julia. We are waiting on our guest speaker as well as our assistant treasurer. But in the meantime, why don't we go around the room and find out who is here?
Okay, let's actually start with our Zoom. We've got William, Justin, and Linda Kinkler. And then I'm walking to the front where you normally walk in across from the ladies' restroom.
Willard McHugh. Harry Castro.
Andrea Silver, SSP.
Sarah, here is Yvonne.
She's been very helpful this morning. Thank you. Jeannie Jacob.
Bob Jacob.
And then Julia Wiggs. We're at the top of the across the front of the room.
Right.
And Brett Wilhelm.
Erica Walls. Kim Vaughn. Try it one more time. Oh, Kim Vaughn. Valerie Wicks. And we're on the next wall.
Miss Malology, good morning.
Hi, good morning. This is Corinne. Linda Taylor. Morning, Victoria Foster.
And then way in the back corner. I'm gonna walk around this table here. Yes, in the back of the bus, all the cool kids hang out. And that would be the
Robert Vaughn.
Wow. The devil is busy.
Erica said the devil is busy.
See you later.
All right, Brett.
All right, well,
Harry just said there's a reason he's at the back of the bus.
Of course.
By the way, he's also controlling sound.
Oh.
all right. Well, welcome everyone, and a special welcome to our new volunteer, Sarah. It's her first time with us. She's actually a friend of mine, gone way back to my World Services for the Blind days, which feel like a million years ago, so. So we are waiting on our speaker to arrive. She's 2 miles away, I'm told, so. In the meantime, we have some announcements. A couple of things coming up that you want to be aware of. October, for our October meeting, which is October 18th, we're playing Name That Tune. I do need to caution people. I am trying to see if it's possible for Zoom attendees to play. However, so far we have a technical glitch, that being that the Bluetooth speaker is going to be used to play the sound. It may not broadcast Zoom, so I don't know if we'll be able to accommodate Zoom or not. So if you really want to get in the game, try to be here if you can. Also, we've got coming up a fundraiser to support SASI, and it's happening from Monday, October 13th through Thursday, October 16th. It is taking place.
Kim's hand is up.
Ken?
Walking with the mic.
I'm coming over with the mic.
Who is?
Valerie is. Here you go. As I lose my keys.
This is Kim Bond. It's actually Monday through Thursday.
And it's taking place at the Smoking Barrels Barbecue Restaurant. So
What's the address?
it is, and this will all go out in an email, but it's 5641 Street, South Street on Kings Highway.
Just follow your nose, because it smells wonderful.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, fundraiser. Thank you.
So 10, I believe, what is it, 10%, Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
That was a yes.
Right, 10% of your proceeds.
Got another hand?
We have another hand up walking over to Jack. There you go.
Do we need a flyer for that, or could we just say we're with SASI? How does that work?
This flyer that I have says you need a flyer, and one is going to be emailed out.
Yes.
No other hand.
Yeah, and you can, but what if you don't have a printer?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
The question that's being asked, Brett, is what happens if you don't have a printer?
If you don't have a printer, is there anyone that does not? Well, there's a couple things. What I can do. No, we can't. But I could bring some potentially to other meetings here. But if you have a phone and you can display it on your phone, I would assume that would work as well.
Might want to call and check on that
Yeah.
before you commit that.
Right.
Do you have the, Brett, this is Corinne. Do you have the,
Walking with the mic.
Valerie's walking to Corinne with the mic. There you go.
sorry, I'm so used to my mouth being loud enough. Brett, everybody, this is Corinne. Brett, do you have the flyer already? Maybe we could possibly have Nancy print a few up here.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to, can I go ask Nancy if that'd be okay?
Yeah. Do you want me to pass the email on to you?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's good.
And that way I can pass it on to her and I'll walk up there and I'll let you know in just a couple minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Lydia just arrived.
Okay. Lydia is here. Okay, now it's in Corinne's inbox, so fingers crossed, we should be able to get some.
I have a really old iPhone, so in 5 minutes I'll get that email.
Oh, okay.
How old is that phone?
13, but
Oh, you're still good.
it's slowing down, so.
Okay. Any other questions on that before we talk about the holiday party?
No.
Okay. So the next thing is our holiday party. That's on. Sorry.
Nothing. Lydia's getting settled.
So the holiday party is Saturday, November 15th. It's gonna be from 11 to 3 here. So,
Got the flyer.
okay, great. So if you show up to the holiday party at 9:30, you'll be waiting a while, so. Yes.
Here?
Yep. This year we have done, we're gonna do something different. We're doing Mexican food. Neil's gonna cater us again. It's tacos, nachos, fajitas, and then of course your rice and your refried beans. Okay.
Valerie's walking over with the mic. Here you go.
This is Erica speaking. There are a few people that don't like Mexican food. Will there be a substitute for them?
Well, you are always welcome to bring your own food.
But what,
Now, we will, of course, have the desserts and candy and other snack-related items that we typically have.
Oh, we have another hand.
yeah.
Walking over with the mic, Valerie.
Here
you go.
So there was a question, oh, this is Sarah, but the question's not from me. It was actually Harry who asked, would people not going to eat the Mexican food need to pay as much?
No. No, I would say if you're not gonna,
Can you repeat the question?
the question was, do people who are not gonna eat the Mexican food, do they need to pay as much? The answer would be no. We don't have anyone here yet to take your payments for the party, but the price will be $15 for deafblind members or guests. An SSP will be $5. You can pay now by cash, check, or PayPal. The option to pay directly via credit card is coming next month, so.
Oh, we have another question. Valerie's walking over with the mic.
So I have a question.
Who are you?
This is Tasha.
Brett,
So
I'm gonna
my
step away for
question
just a
is,
minute.
the,
I'm
when
gonna
you
step
talk
away for
about
just a
taking
minute.
credit,
Okay.
do we call you and give you the credit card? Or do we swipe the card? What is, how? does it
We'll
work?
have a credit card scanner you'll swipe with.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just charge you for that.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Radio silence.
Sorry.
I was just making a joke. You can keep going if you want.
Okay. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we will have the usual door prizes that we have. We'll have some games. You'll have time to socialize. We have a little surprise regarding holiday music. So yeah, that's a lot to look forward to.
We have some
Also,
hands.
okay.
Sorry. Valerie's walking over with the mic for some questions. Here you are. Announce your name.
This is Victoria. Brett, how much is the holiday party again?
It's 50, so for deafblind members and any guests that they may want to bring, so not an SSP, but let's say they want to bring their friend or whatever, it's $15. SSPs are $5.
Any other questions? Nope. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I think that covers everything. So I also should mention there is a really cool prize for the winners of Name That Tune. So anyway, moving on to our presentation, we actually have a double presentation from her. Our newly elected Vice President, Lydia, is here. Lydia, I'm just gonna turn it over to you. I assume you're ready.
Yes, I'm
All
good
right.
to go. Let me move the mic over.
And from me say, since it's happening pretty soon, welcome to STL finally.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yay! Okay, I'm gonna move your mic stand.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, Lydia, you have mic stand in front of you on your,
Oh.
this side. Thank you.
This is Lydia speaking. Can everyone hear me? Do we have communication access?
Say that again?
Can everyone hear me okay?
If you could speak louder.
Okay, I'm trying to get closer to the mic. Is this better?
I'm gonna scoot it forward just a little bit.
Okay, perfect. So, very happy to be speaking with you this morning. So yeah, as Brett mentioned, so I'm gonna be talking to you about guide dogs, and they are sometimes, not as well, like there are misconceptions. There's a lot of cool things they can do. There are some things that maybe they can't do. So I just want to kind of give you some information, and so that you can think about, if you would want a guide dog, if that's right for you, and or anyone that you know. So a couple just quick things. Of course, at any point, if there's a communication access issue, let me know. And then also, I'm going to be covering a lot of different topics. So if you have a question about something I'm specifically talking about in that moment, feel free to ask. But if it's about another question related to guide dogs, if you can hold that to the end, because I might answer your question in another part of my presentation. Okay, so to get started, I just want to start out with what is a guide dog? So a guide dog is specially trained by a guide dog school. There are several throughout the country. And a guide dog specifically is trained to help someone who is blind or has low vision with guiding them, for example, around obstacles or down a sidewalk, across the street. And a guide dog can also help the handler find things, such as maybe a curb or a chair or a counter. And speaking of my dog, mine just came back from doing his business outside. Let me get him settled. Yeah. So my guide dog, Brody, just joined us. He's in the room. He's happily done what he needed to do outside. And so he is, just a little bit about him. He is about 85 pounds. He is a 3-year-old male black lab. And I got him from Guiding Eyes for the Blind in Yorktown Heights, New York. There are several guide dog schools throughout the country. I just found that Guiding Eyes was the best fit for me. And I'll kind of get into that a little bit about why that is, and what made Guiding Eyes stand out for me. So give me 1 second, my notes just went away. Okay. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, how do you know if a guide dog is right for you? So as I mentioned, a guide dog will help someone who is blind or low vision. A common misconception is that it's a good fit for everyone. And so I will say there's actually a very small percentage of people who are blind that have a guide dog. Because there are a lot of responsibilities and skills that you must possess to be able to successfully work with a dog. One of those is you have to have a really good sense of direction and good orientation mobility skills. The reason being, you have to still direct the dog on where you want to go. The dog is not going to know, okay, she wants to go to the hotel or McDonald's or whatever. You have to be able to give right, left, forward, all those sorts of directions so that the dog knows what you expect. They are not going to be able to guide you if they don't have direction. The other thing is you have to have certain places that you go often, so like specific routes that you do. So for example, at my home, one of them I do in my neighborhood is I have a route I do around the cul-de-sac, walking with Brody for a couple blocks or so. That is a good one. I also have a longer route I do up to a Walgreens pharmacy and several others like downtown, and then I have some routes I do in St. Louis, around the downtown area around here in the society, kind of part of town. And so that's really important because if you don't have certain routes or places that you go, a guide dog is probably not going to be a good fit for you because the guide dog has to have daily work pretty well to stay a safe guide dog. So if they're not out working a lot, they would lose their skill and their training, and that would, in the end, put you in danger as the handler. So making sure that if you do have a guide dog, or if you're considering one, thinking about routes that you do, or even adding new routes so that the dog has enough work to be successful. Usually a lot of guide dog schools will look for you to have at least 3 routes that you do on a consistent basis, meaning at least once or twice a week. So that's kind of a qualifying factor for receiving a guide dog at pretty much most schools. And then another factor is it's really important that you are obviously interested in animals and sort of the team building element, and that you have enough time for that. I think a lot of people think, oh, great, you know, a dog, it can guide me and do all these things. And it can, you just have to be able to make sure that you have enough time built in for things like grooming, bonding with the dog, feeding the dog, watering, a term called parking, which means like relieving. So the dog will need to go usually at least like 5 times a day outside. So making sure that you a person that would have enough time in your schedule for things like that, or that you could manage that time. Another thing, kind of going back to the orientation a little bit. So with a guide dog, I'm sure a lot of you who use a white cane are familiar with kind of using the cane to find different landmarks and things like that. And you do still keep a cane with you when you work with a dog. The big difference is you don't use the cane while you are working the dog in a harness. So it's really important, along with having a good O&M foundation, to also have good time distance skills. So knowing how long it takes you to get, say, from I don't know, the door of the society to the hallway that you turn down to come to our meetings. So that's kind of important too, because you want to be able to give the dog, say, a left turn command at the right time so that they understand what you expect. Or another option, if you're not sure, because I've been to plenty of places, I don't know where I'm going, getting help from like an SSP, friends or family, or even just someone in the public. But again, you just have to have a good sense of where you're going to tell the dog. And another thing to consider is that, because this is kind of fresh in my mind, but he's had a few distraction issues this weekend. So, keeping in mind, like in my case, Birdie is really well trained. At the end of the day, he's still a dog, right? So a guide dog will do a lot for you and everything. Just keep in mind they can get distracted. So just understanding that that is a thing and that you would have to then correct him. The school would teach like how you refocus the dog. But just kind of knowing that that does come with having a guide dog. They're still an animal. They still have their smells and meats and foods and trash cans, fire hydrants. So just keep that in mind. As far as benefits, one thing that I personally really like is that I can travel so much faster with a guide dog than I can my cane. So for me also, Brody has been specially trained to help me not veer. I have a really bad left veer because of my hearing and balance issues. And so he can kind of help, like I said, he's 85 pounds, so he's a big boy. He can help push me over if I'm veering too far, like say in an intersection. He keeps me going straight across to the other curb instead of veering into the intersection. So things like being able to walk faster and also the specialized training, like for example, that he has. Not every guide dog is trained to do that. In fact, that is why I chose Guiding Eyes, is because they have a program specifically for deafblind individuals, and they assess case by case what every person needs as far as their mobility challenges or needs as far as travel. And so, a lot of guide dogs would not collect the vehicle. They'd be like, oh, that's rude. Why is she going toward the intersection? But I'll go with her. And so Lily's trained to be like, no, mom, you're not doing that. And so I think that's really important too, if you decide that a guide dog is right for you, is, since, obviously in this room, we all have, both vision and hearing, sensory loss. And so kind of being honest with the guide dog school about your sensory needs, I think is really important so that they can make sure that you're matched with the best fit, or the best guide dog. And I'll get into kind of match making in a moment and how that works. Another benefit, like I was saying earlier, guide dogs can help you find things that your cane cannot. I know you can look around, feel with your cane to find like the curb or, reach out and try to find the counter, but the guide dog is trained on those words. So if you have a general idea, like I know the curb is directly in front of me somewhere, I would, say the dog's name forward to the curb, or to the counter, to the chair. And so it's a lot easier because with a cane, things take longer sometimes to find, or like reaching out with your hand. Whereas the dog can put their nose directly on the chair or the counter, or like put their front feet on the curb so that you can find it. So I would basically find, like I would notice that Brody stopped. I would reach out and kind of trail his body to, where his nose is and be like, okay, there's the chair. And then with curbs, I notice when he stops, and then I just slide my right foot forward and feel for the edge of the curb to know that I'm at my crossing. So that's kind of an easier way that dogs can help you with locating items that might take more time for you to do on your own. And then, like I was saying earlier, companionship and just kind of having that bond. For me, like I love animals, and so having that companion at my side even just kind of helps me feel more at ease throughout my day. And so, just kind of keep that in mind that, I don't know, I just sort of feel better. Not only safety, but just emotionally sometimes having Brody with me. And then, like I said, I mentioned the specialized training. So not every school does that. In fact, kind of part of my personal story with guide dog schools and applying is that I actually was denied at a lot of schools that did not have specialized training programs because they were more accustomed to people using their ears for certain clues that I wasn't able to do. And so I actually waited about 6 years to get Brody. I applied at places starting in like 2018, and then in August 2024, last year is when I was matched with him. But when I applied at Guiding Eyes, I want to say it was about like 8-ish months that it took between the time I applied and the time that I was matched with him. Thank you. And so part of that class, so there's like the application you normally do online, and then the next step is a interview with a guide dog mobility instructor. They usually will come out to the home and kind of assess your mobility skills, look at your community and the routes that you have available, and just kind of see if they think a guide dog is a good fit, answer questions that you have. And yeah, so that's kind of how that works as far as the application, and then they would decide, there's usually like a whole reviewing team that would review like video footage they took of you doing street crossings or up and down stairs, just to make sure that the dog would be a good fit. And then they decide from a variety of factors, like maybe walking pace, activity level, height. There's all kinds of factors they use to decide which dog is matched with which handler. And then in my case, the training period depends on the school. At Guiding Eyes, it's currently about 2 weeks of training. I honestly wish it were a little bit longer because, especially as a new handler, there was a lot of information in 2 weeks. They have done an amazing job of following up with me though, now that I graduated with Brody, and I'm in my home environment. So the next thing I want to kind of talk about is just a little bit of background on guide dogs and kind of how they are trained and just a little bit of their kind of their life and what they experience. So they start out born at the guide dog school. They have breeder dogs, so mom and dad and things like that. And it's so that they can breed dogs like Birdie, to be big dogs or shorter or more lean, just depending on the needs of the handlers currently. And then after that, it's typically about 8 weeks or so after they're finished being weaned from mom. They are placed with a puppy raiser. And so the puppy raiser teaches a guide dog some basic obedience, exposes them to different environments, kind of helps them get used to maybe somewhere being kind of noisy or something, like it's been pretty hot lately, so being outdoors or, being in an elevator, just kind of basic etiquette that will help them succeed later on in their guide dog training. Say that again? I didn't hear the question.
Being in a restaurant.
Yes, that's another example. Great example. And in a lot of places, so guide dogs in training will have usually kind of a marking on them that will say, puppy in training, guide dog in training, something to that effect, so that they're still able to have that public access. And then once they decide, and there's a really cool movie, it's audio described, I would really recommend, it's called Pick of the Litter. It is a story of a litter of puppies from Guide Dogs for the Blind in California. And it kind of goes through the process of how dogs are selected or kind of weeded out for guide dog training. So as they are with the puppy raisers, there are people who will come out from the school and kind of see, you know, how is the dog doing? Are they looking like they're fit to be a guide dog? If they're like way too curious, for example, or maybe just way too energetic. Now, granted, they're puppies, so every puppy is energetic. But if they're just, you know, showing temperament that they don't have it to be a guide dog, or they're not doing well with exposure to different environments, then they will be what they call career changed, which means they might be a pet, they might become like a police dog or some other service animal that they're, you know, able to do those tasks. Once they make it through the puppy phase, they go on to their basic guide dog training. So that's learning things kind of like I was discussing earlier, like accepting direction from the handler, wearing the harness. There's a lot that goes into because another factor they use to kind of determine if a dog is a good fit is it's called body handling. So some guide dogs don't like it if someone puts the harness on or there's grooming or things like that that are just important parts of, you know, they have to have that done to be a guide dog. So they work on body handling, they work on directions, they continue basic obedience, exposure to new environments. And so as the training goes on, again, some guide dogs get weeded out. In fact, most do. There are very few that actually make it on to be a guide dog. And so then once they pass the basic guide dog training, they can be either further trained, you know, like Birdie was for specialized training. They kind of saw something in him that they were like, wow, I think he would be really good for Lydia and the veal, you know, just with the size and the temperament, all sorts of things. Kind of made that decision, factored in there. And so they will either go on for some additional training or be matched with a handler, which I was kind of talking a little bit already about that process. And then my notes moved on me, sorry. Yeah, so once they are through the training, they can be matched. And then one thing I forgot to say earlier, I wanted to clarify. So guide dogs can do guiding tasks, locating curbs, chairs, other objects like that. Keep in mind though, I just wanted to put this out there since we are, you know, sight and sound impaired group. Guide dogs are not hearing alert dogs. So Birdie can help with my mobility needs that arise because of my hearing, but he does not, for example, alert, say if a fire alarm goes off or other sound related things. So I just wanted to put that out there that those are two different sets of service animals in case that was a point of confusion. And then the next thing I want to move on to is just kind of some basic etiquette. So if you do encounter, like say me and Brody, a really important thing is just first and foremost, like not interacting while he has the harness on. So no touching, petting, doing anything with his equipment. And even if he's like, I know like now he doesn't have his harness on because he had went outside. But if he's just lying there and he has his harness on, he's still on duty. So think of it like you're at work, but you're maybe sort of taking a break, but you're still responsible for doing the job. You know, if someone needed you, it's sort of like that. And so the reason the not touching is so important, interacting, so another thing is like making eye contact, making noises, talking to the dog. Those are all things that really distract a guide dog from their duties. And it's really important just for the safety of the handler that those things not happen, just so that, you know, he doesn't run me into things. Or even when it looks like maybe he's, you know, not guiding or something, but he still has a harness on. Think of it like, so when he's in harness, he sees himself as working, like his whole demeanor changes in and out of harness. And so think of it like you would behave differently, like if you were at work versus at home by yourself or goofing off with friends. There's a whole different etiquette and things. So it's really important for him, like we know the difference of like he's up and guiding or not. But for him, it's a matter of if he's in harness. So it's just kind of an important distinction. So if he learns a behavior is okay in harness, he might think, oh, I could go sniff somebody while I'm guiding. You know, it worked out the first time I was lying down and I had my harness on. So that's why that's so important. Let's see, I mentioned noises, eye contact, talking to the dog. Also, it's important to not offer the dog any sort of food or if it looks like maybe the dog is thirsty or something, always ask the handler. It's up to us, you know, as far as watering, feeding. The dog is on a relieving schedule so that I know when he needs to go, which is important so he doesn't just decide it's time while we're in the meeting. Um, and so if someone say gives him food or water, that might make him need to go, and then, you know, we're in a public place where obviously that wouldn't be appropriate for him to relieve. Another important thing is to always let the handler give commands. So it's really important that someone who is not the handler not give direction to the dog, because the dog is always looking to me. So like Lily's always wanting to know what I have to say or what I'm wanting from him. And so it really confuses him if, say, someone else, like if my mom were to, she doesn't, by the way, but if she were to give direction to Brody, he would be very confused, which could be dangerous. And then another one, I think a lot of people don't always know. It's really helpful. I know it's kind of common courtesy, like trying to help people out and get the door. It's really helpful to let the handler get the door. For a couple reasons. One, the dog is trained to find the door and put their nose on the handle so the handler can locate it and open the door. The second being, a guide dog should never be on the hand side because they could get their tail caught. So us as the handler managing the door kind of helps us know that our dog is safe. And then, another thing to consider, so some schools teach the dog to follow. Some do not, like guiding eyes doesn't, they're kind of shading away from that lately because a lot of guide dogs have been that were taught that we're starting to follow the wrong people, like in a store or something, so that isn't real safe. So never assume that the dog will follow you if you're giving directions. And always just ask the handler how you can best support them. So some people would prefer in a new environment to do sighted guide. Sometimes it's easier to do verbal directions with the handler and then they communicate to the dog. So just kind of work with the handler on a case by case basis. If it looks like someone needs help, just always ask what would be most beneficial. Generally speaking, it's best to walk behind and to the right of a guide dog team. The reason being is behind to the right is a guide dog's kind of blind spot, so to speak. So they would be less prone to distraction by seeing you as someone assisting. And so that just, again, kind of helps them stay focused on their work. Keep in mind that, like, for me, I can't hear on my right side. So, sometimes I do side and guide with someone or, have someone wear my assistive listening device, or use some haptics behind me where Brody doesn't see. So, just again, working with the handler to make sure, that their needs are met. And then, again, I feel like this should be pretty straightforward, giving the directions to the handler. You'd be amazed how many people will try to give Brody directions and tell him where something is located. And guide dogs do not see street signs, they don't know what it means, they don't speak English, or any language. They're not people. So again, that's why it's important for the handler to give that direction to the guide dog. So if someone like asks for help, again, just communicating with them directly, to answer their question about maybe where they are or what direction a certain destination is located. And then I think that was about all I had as far as etiquette. A couple of things that I was going to offer. First of all, before we get into anything else, does anyone have questions about what I've covered so far?
Okay. This is Valerie. We have one hand up. I'm walking over to you now. Here you are.
My name is Harry Castro. I have two questions and I thought I'd answer them before I get fight with a mic. But the first one is, I don't know anything about a guide dog, but if you're walking down a sidewalk, let's say, and the guide dog is taking you down there, and let's just say there's a low branch. And it's not gonna, of course, hit the dog, but it might hit you. Does the dog tell you about that, or is there any, I don't know, that's why I was asking that. My second question is, if you have, let's say you're on a bus and children get on or something like that, oh, a dog, can we pet the dog? And the dog's in harness, do you say no, or do you say yes? Because children always want, is it, the first thing their mothers will say, is he friendly? And I didn't know what the situation was for that. Thank you.
Sure. Those are fantastic questions. Dealing with the public is a big part of being a handler. You have to be pretty assertive and advocate for yourself. So yes, as far as, I'll get to your question about the bus first. So I usually just say, something like with kids or, someone who doesn't understand, like, I'm sorry, he's working right now. I don't see with my eyes, so he's helping me. And so, yeah, I usually, like, I don't let them pet just because, again, he doesn't distinguish, oh, that was just a kid or whatever. He's still in harness, right? So then he might think, oh, cool, I could have someone, come pet me whenever I'm working. Which I know that you mentioned kind of talking about HKNC. We had a few things come up. The ability went back for retraining for a couple of months after my experience in New York because of a lot of petting and things. So especially in my case, like since Brody had that issue, I am personally really strict about no petting. It is it's handler discretion, but it's advised by guide dog schools to just, really be pretty clear about no petting while in harness. And then excellent question about obstacles. Yes. So, sometimes over the head ones are harder for guide dogs to see, but they generally do stop. So the way that would work is, because he also stops for like cracks or big, like low hanging obstacles or, anything that could cause injury, basically. Only a stumble, fall, whatever. So, if he stops, we're going down the sidewalk, like you said, I usually, personally, my kind of method is I feel with my foot first to see if it's something on the ground. If it's not, then I kind of feel, with the back of my hand out at waist level. Is it there? Is it at my knees? Um, and sort of work my way up. So then I eventually feel overhead. And if I'm like, oh yeah, found the branch, then yes, I would praise him, and usually there's a treat involved. And then we would move on from there. So yeah, that's an excellent question.
We have one more hand up at the back of the room. I'm headed there now. Go ahead, Rhonda.
This is Rhonda Jones, and I would like to recommend another movie, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Walt Disney did an excellent movie called Atta Girl, ATTA, Girl Kelly. And if you have the time to watch that movie, it shows every possible aspect of guide dog training. And if you get the original one, it shows Walt walking in with a guide dog. So he went to a school, and I want to say it was Seeing Eye, but I'm not sure about the school, but it's a very, very good movie. And it will also help you with do's and don'ts of guide dog training. It shows what happens when a student doesn't pass the guide dog training, because some students don't make it. And it also shows it's all kinds of really neat stuff about the guide dog. So I would highly recommend that movie. And Lydia, I'm enjoying your talk. I owned 2 guide dogs. Thank you for presenting.
Of course, yeah. I don't think I've seen that movie myself. I'll go check it out. And yeah, that's a really good point. It's not just the guide dogs. Sometimes students don't make it. Like if you get to the school, and because I've had this happen, one of my friends had this occur, that they were like, they just discovered, for one reason or another, that wasn't a good match. And so the person was not able to, go home with their guide dog, and it's devastating. I couldn't even imagine. Or I've heard of people, that maybe go through training and then they get home and they're like, man, I really don't have enough routes. So that's why it's important to work through that beforehand, so that you don't go through that detachment of like, working up to getting this dog, and you have this new friend and everything's great. Oh, okay, yeah, they don't have enough work. So kind of doing that, like, as much as I'm sure people want the guide dog, like making sure 100% that it's right for you first, so that you don't go through that, is really important. Any other questions?
No other hands.
Okay.
Actually, we have one more hand again. I'm walking back there now. Go ahead.
This is Rhonda Jones again speaking. Lydia, did they do a video, and maybe you said this because I wasn't in here at the beginning. Did they do a video of you traveling with a white cane or with a sighted guide before you went to guide dog school?
Yes. So I touched on it briefly, but to kind of elaborate, yes. So the field representative from Guiding Eyes, who came out to visit me, took some video footage, and then that was also sent to the admissions team. So that was kind of there are a lot of people on that team, like the person who trained Brody and then trained me was part of that. I think they also have some orientation and mobility instructors there to make sure the person has sufficient orientation skills and good time distance awareness, all those things that are necessary for a guide dog. So yes, there's video footage and a lot of people that review it to make sure they think that you are well qualified for the guide dog.
We have another hand up over here, walking over.
Hi, Lydia. This is Linda Taylor. I'm curious to know, when one gets a guide dog, what about other pets in the house, like cats or dogs? Other
Excellent
dogs?
question.
How does, I mean, what's the procedure for that?
Yeah, thank you for saying that because I should have included that and I forgot, so thank you. So yeah, the way that works, because I have a little like 8, 9 pound dog at home. And she's very sweet. Sometimes she doesn't love, new dogs in her area. So we had a little bit of trouble when I first got Brody because he's literally like basically 10 times her size. So, and then so there was sort of, that's kind of a challenge, right? Is that pets see like, this is my home, what are you doing on my lawn, right? So the way that we kind of work through that, because it can be done, it's tricky at first, like, I think, quite frankly, Pepper and Brody, Pepper's my little dog. I think they're still learning to coexist. And I've had him for a year. So, what's really important is to introduce them on neutral ground. So, for example, after Pepper got out of the door, Brody charged at her when we first pulled up to my house. Not a great introduction. But after that, the recommended procedure is to have the dogs meet on leash. So like my mom had Pepper, I had Brody. So they kind of met on neutral turf that didn't belong to either one. We went to a neighbor's house. And, that way Pepper didn't feel so violated per se by this huge dog immediately coming to her home, although she still did. But it was a little less so. And that allowed them to meet, before he just came onto Pepper's territory. But it takes time and, just kind of supervising the interactions. In the case of Brody and Pepper, it's kind of hard for them to play because he's so big, she's so little, she could get hurt. He's about trampled her a couple times, at least. And so, yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. I would say it takes time, it takes meeting in neutral areas at first. And like when I took Brody home, I had him most of the time like on leash in his crate, something so that he wasn't just wandering around the house, and it was kind of controlled so that A, I knew he wasn't getting himself in trouble, and B, he wasn't all like up in Pepper's space.
Okay, we have another hand. I'm walking over. Here you are.
All right, Lydia, this is Brett. I know you had, well, I had two questions for you. First of all, going back to what you just talked about with him and other pets, I know you had quite an adventure with him the first time you took him to grandma's, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yes.
And then second, I did want to ask you, I heard that Leader Dogs also has something for deafblind people. Why Guiding Eyes over Leader Dogs? Just curious.
Yeah, both great. You guys have had awesome questions. I love it. So to address your first question about grandmas, so yeah, we had a little instance where he had his puppy lasers had cats. So he was like, oh, cats. My grandma has like a whole bunch of barn cats. She's lives out on a farm in southeast Missouri. And so we went there for Thanksgiving last year, and he got so excited, he just like bolted out of, Mom, didn't he like pushed you out of your seat,
Yes.
out of the front?
He was in the backseat of the car, flew by me through the driver's seat, and got out and started chasing cats.
Wow. So just to repeat through the mic, my mom was just saying he blew past her in the front seat, jumped out and was chasing cats. So again, I just have to reiterate, these are trained dogs. When he does not have the harness on, especially, he's, what do you call him, Mom? The big glue?
Yes.
She calls him the big galoof when he does not have the harness on. So just remember that, that's part of having a guide dog. That was not ideal behavior.
Valerie, he wants to know what color your dog is.
He is black.
So he's a black lab. Okay.
Yes, purebred black lab.
He's a big, beautiful black lab.
Yeah. And then,
Yes, yes.
I got distracted. I'm sorry, but can you remind me of your second question?
Why guiding eyes over leader dogs?
Thank you. I'm sorry. My memory these days. Okay. So yes, excellent question. So I actually tried for Play-Doh dogs for a little bit. They were the first one I tried. I hadn't even heard about guiding eyes yet. I was interested because they were a little bit closer in Michigan, kind of Midwest still. And I don't know, it was an interesting experience. The gentleman who came out to do the intake and videos and assessment was really nice. He's like, oh my goodness, I wish I had a guide dog here for you today. Like, you're so ready. And then when I applied, everything was kind of sent. They were like, oh yeah, we lost your application. Sorry. And like, it was weird. And then I had an instance where I actually went there for their orientation and mobility training in hopes that they could maybe kind of see my skills and what I can do. And then even with their specialized training program, they were not,
Yeah.
he's dreaming. I was like, it was like a last week. I was like, no one's choking, are they? Okay.
No.
It's my dog. Okay, so, oh yeah, so I was saying, I went out to Lido Dog, did the O&M program, and even then with my veer, they didn't feel like they had the capacity to do specialized training for that, and so then that's when I started exploring additional options. So again, it really depends on the school, like, I think it's my understanding, so like, I think Lido Dog, just, and this is just what I've heard, I may be wrong. Lido Dog, I think, is more used to training, like on the deafblind spectrum, people with some low vision instead of like total blindness, and then maybe like low vision with partial or total deafness. And then I think guiding eyes, where I went, is more used to total blindness, and then usually some level of hearing, sometimes completely deaf clients. So again, it just really depends. So, do your research, talk to the schools. I had heard about the Leader Dog specialized program, and then I didn't even really, I was like, oh, this is going to be it. Like, this will really help me. And then I didn't know about guiding eyes until a while down the road. So kind of look at them all first, I think, is my advice.
We have a hand across the room. I'm walking over there now. Here you are.
Hey, this is Sarah. I was just gonna say, when I was at Leader Dog training for my guide dog, again, I am not deaf-blind, but I did interact with the deaf-blind trainers, and they actually wore blindfolds while they were training the dogs. So I'm not sure about at that time, because this was just a couple of years ago. And based on what you said earlier, this would have been longer ago that your interaction was with them.
Right. Yeah, I think a lot of schools do. You bring up a good point. A lot of them do have the trainer wear a blindfold, so they'll experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought on the other thing I was gonna say.
Sorry.
I do know they have 3 weeks of training versus 2. But, oh, I know what it was I was gonna say. I think the major difference that, from my understanding of you, Lydia, would be the dogs, leader dogs for the blind raises are much smaller than Brody. And maybe they needed a bigger, heavier dog to, like you said earlier, kind of push against you to keep you from veering. Their dogs are smaller.
You know, that's a good point. I didn't even realize, cause I hadn't met any of the dogs at Lido Dogs, so that's a good point. Maybe that makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm glad you said that. So again, yeah, every school's different. It's not necessarily that they just don't want you or whatever. Sometimes they just can't accommodate the need and maybe another school can. So and they're even pretty open. Like when I applied at Guide Dogs for the Blind in California, for example, they don't try to turn you away from other schools most of the time. They're kind of in it together a lot. So like Guide Dogs for the Blind said, we really don't do any specialized training, but they gave me a list of other guide dog schools that do. Okay.
We have one hand over here, go ahead.
It's Linda Taylor again. What happens in a situation that another dog might go after a guide dog? Is the guide dog able to fight back, or do they have to sit there and take another dog attacking them?
Excellent question. So it's kind of a handler's worst nightmare. I had that come up within like the first 6 weeks that I had Brody. I was with my mom, we were walking to Walgreens and there was this out of control, was it a pit bull?
I'm not sure what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, it was, the handler was paying no attention, just let it like run out the door and it was running toward Brody. My mom was really brave and, so we were both like, the big thing is like make noise, do things to try to deter you, like the other dog from coming at you. So, and sometimes you may not even be aware, that it's happening, like not seeing or hearing it. In that case, thankfully, my mom was pretty, able to assist and that worked out, but those times you may not know until it's happening. So, a couple things to consider, like I said, making some kind of noise to keep the dog from coming any closer. You also want to like, you don't want to just keep holding on to the harness. I wouldn't necessarily say that dogs just take it. I mean, it's going to depend on the dog, how they react. I've heard of some dogs kind of going back, showing their teeth, like leave me alone. Some of them, like Brody, tried to back away. So just like humans, they have their own personalities or ways that they handle, an attack. Yeah, I would say just, and the big thing is, generally speaking, you don't want to get between them. And if there is an issue, like something to consider, it is if someone has their dog, like has no control of their dog, or has their dog just out running around doing whatever. And if the dog, like if your guide dog is hurt or seriously injured, unable to work, that's actually a felony for the other pet owner. So also keep that in mind as pet owners, that is super important to control your dog. So that you're not handling a guide dog or service animal. In the case with me and Brody, my mom actually, I don't know how all, you were able to kind of get between a little bit.
I just made a lot of noise and.
Didn't you sort of
Swing
block
my
the
arms
dog
and,
from?
yeah.
Yeah. So again, you don't typically want to get between, but in that case, my mom was able to assist us blocking the other dog from attacking Brody.
Lydia,
Yeah.
there is a hand raised on
Okay.
Zoom.
Sure.
If you're ready.
Yeah.
Okay. William, I see your hand. It's going to ask you to unmute on your phone. I believe I think it's if you hit star
*6.
*6, you can unmute yourself. I'm not sure. Okay, he's probably working on it. If he comes off of mute, I'll let you know.
Okay. Maybe this would be a good time while we're waiting, on Zoom. I was going to offer, is there anyone who would be interested, because Brody's on leash right now. Is there anyone who has not felt a guide dog harness who would like to feel what that is?
No hands raised.
Okay, well, it is here if anyone wants to.
And William was able to unmute.
Okay.
Yes, this is William. You were at the Guiding Eyes. How many week was training? And is that on Long Island? Guiding Eyes?
Can you repeat the question?
So the question was, how many weeks of training were you training?
About 2 weeks.
About the 2 weeks, William. And then were you on Long Island?
Not quite on Long Island. It was slightly more upstate New York.
And I got one more question. Was there any sponsorship supporting the Guiding Eyes?
Is there any? The question,
Sponsorship.
is there any sponsorship for supporting the guiding dogs? Guiding eyes, sorry.
Yeah, so there are a lot of different fundraisers they're actually doing right now. It's called Wagathon, where like handlers can walk with the dogs and try to raise money in the month of September. But there are a lot of programs throughout the year where, and you can donate to Guiding Eyes anytime. They have links like on their website. They have fundraisers, like I said, throughout the year. So lots of opportunities to help support their cause.
I get the feeling that the Leader Dog for the Blind get more training week than the Guiding Eyes.
William, can you say that again? Is that a question or a statement?
That's the question. My understanding is that the Leader Dog had more training week than the Guiding Eyes. Is that true?
So is the leader dog more of a training week than the guiding eyes?
Yes, Leader Dog has a longer training period.
In person. It doesn't necessarily mean they have more beforehand. Like before the client comes might be less.
Sarah is stating that before the training, there's not, at leader dog, before the training, there's not much. But once you're in person, there's quite a bit more training. Is that right, Sarah? Oh, she's coming to the mic.
Yes, that's what I think.
Well, this is Sarah. I was just saying that at Leader Dog, they may not receive as much training before the client gets there. I don't know. I just know that once the client is there, it's longer. My point is, it doesn't mean it's better. If that makes
Yeah, very well said. It really just, every school is different, because one thing I did beforehand was some online like training tutorials and information about what to expect in class, and most schools have that. Some integrate that more into the training. It's just a matter of what's the best fit for you. A lot of schools also have a home training program where the trainer will come out to you with a guide dog and then work with you just in the home environment and not on campus. So it really depends on the person and what's best for the handlers and dog.
William, are you done with your question?
Yeah, do they train you using the GPS, giving you direction, so you guiding the dog with the GPS?
Do you utilize GPS with the dog?
Right.
Yes. If I don't know where I'm going, I might use a GPS app on my phone or something to kind of orient myself so that I can give directions to the dog, yes. And I know, Lido Dog actually, he puts a lot of emphasis, at least when I was there, on GPS, like they offer a free Victor Lido trip, to, new handlers of guide dogs, as a means of, guiding and GPS.
Okay, we have one hand up over here, go ahead.
Yes, Jacqueline, and, what, the size of class, when you were there, what were the size of your class? And did you have your own individual room?
Great question. So the size of the class was, I want to say there were like 7 or 8 of us, and that was the biggest class they had had since COVID. I think classes were slightly bigger pre-COVID. And then yes, I have my own room. One nice thing about the specialized training program is it's one-on-one with the handler, guide dog, and trainer. Whereas dogs that are not specially trained, oftentimes there might be one trainer per 2 to 3 guide dog teams. So that is also another consideration, like because of my hearing and specifically what Brody learned to do for me, they put me with just, one trainer. She was exclusively working with us.
No more hands.
No more hands, she said.
Correct. Oh, except for Brett, looks like.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you, Lydia, for that. That was a very informative presentation. And I think I learned a lot. I hope everyone else did as well. You're always welcome to talk to or email or text Lydia if you have other questions. We are a little low on time, so what I want to do, we're going to do it a little shorter than what we might otherwise do. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll come back. Lydia will do her second presentation. As a reminder, you can pay for the holiday. Is Chris here?
Yes.
You can give your holiday party money to Chris.
And we just have a deaf visitor join us.
Here is it.
Her name is Esther,
Okay.
and she is fully deaf.
Okay.
Do you mind if I interpret for her?
Okay.
If she stays?
Yeah, are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, I'm a student interpreter.
Oh, okay.
So you have the cash box? And did you tell them,
That backpack?
and then you tell them, there's, remind them that there's drinks and stuff for sale?
Okay.
We've just been.
Hey, just so everyone knows, the drinks are here if you'd like to buy a drink.
Now they're here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm already. I'm not caffeinated yet, so. Oh, is there?
She's on that.
Minutes ago. You and Jackie said, 3 minutes ago. Yeah, messages 1 hour ago.
Hey, Sarah.
I'm back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, right.
We're gonna go right between the chairs.
Go for it, yeah. Do you wanna, there's a Chippewa, Oreo. Yeah.
Harness. Oh, it's Andrea. Harness. Back that up.
Sure, absolutely. You would love that, I'm sure.
Since he gave me a kiss in the ball game.
Yeah.
Oreo.
I gave it to you.
He didn't care. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't care. He just stayed asleep. God love him. It's a male for you.
Oh,
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sure what it means, but probably something.
Did you talk to Ruth?
Yeah, she said they don't have anything right now. But she, on the bottom, she was like, yeah, but that's.
She doesn't have anything right now.
Yeah. Looks like.
What did you say you want?
Oh, it's good and cold, too.
How are you, Brett?
Good.
Doing all right?
Yep.
Hi, Lydia, it's Corinne. I'm good. How are you doing? So your big old boy is sitting right behind you up against the wall.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go get some.
Do you?
Oh, good luck.
I was gonna know for you.
But you know, you'll have to leave and go get some. You know, there's. There's a coffee. Coffee shop, you know where that is?
That's the other thing.
There's a girl at the Bean House. It's a coffee shop. I love renting. This door was there. Probably. Can't make it all out.
Yeah.
You got left out here, it's like 2 months.
All right. I have room.
Hey, no, this is stuff that I don't everybody. Your hearing needs automatically jump. I guess you have it through the app, you know, if you have the app on that. I think they did take. You took them in. At least you did the programs. Where you can input the numbers and I yeah, be able to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, so the only way to get breakdowns is if you bought them. Like, I'm be able to take any of your like. Yeah.
He said it went away after a while.
Don't answer this one.
I'm leaving to get caffeine inside.
There's one down. Call you and want to chat for a minute. They always got a question. Now, how do we fix this?
And white.
Yeah. Michael.
Yeah, I was wondering what I was doing.
It's great. I know. Some say I've seen that.
Hey, Brett,
Yeah,
where is lunch today?
hacienda.
Okay, I was right. I'll be right back.
They have got, I swear, I'm trying to make a point, I'm trying to, I was gonna. Boy, he jumped over, he didn't jump everything. Boy, he had. You want to? Oh, Lord. Yeah. A friend of mine is here. I have been on her 15 years. She does very yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is. Yes, yeah, right. But, I mean,
I know it's where you live.
Lydia, it's Sarah. Hi.
You're hurry up and bring.
Yeah.
There we go.
But then they eventually helped with the dog. But then I had to react. Every dog.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
That's I'm so.
Thing I hate about another, you have contact right, you pull up on you. And you press two, you're kind of. And the problem.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start pretty soon, everyone, so if you can wrap up what you're doing and slowly make your way back to your seats.
Same exact, and my team, I don't know what that, I don't, but because you still got days and in your training, finally, he was sick though, for the death. You know what I'm saying? Over, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm doing it, and when we that. I think, no, we're, I think, okay. like it goes in.
Valerie.
It's just like right charter and red. Yeah, I'm gonna, you know, what I just put with it, it's gonna be parallel ground. Turn right in front of you.
So we have this here right now, I can tell you.
Yes.
Her name's Esther, she is deaf, she needs an interpreter, and we are being, someone is telling us that we should not be interpreting for her right now because we are technically working. What is your opinion on that?
Hang on just a second.
My understanding is
Look pretty ready.
okay, we're gonna go, is Lydia back?
Yes, Lydia's back.
Okay, we are going to go ahead and start again. We are a little low on time. We have less than an hour, so I want to keep it rolling. And I don't want us to have to miss out on the presentation. So Lydia just gave us a great presentation on guide dogs, and kind of a related thing that happened is she's actually done it twice. We have a tradition at SASI when a member goes to HKNC, we ask them to tell us about it. Several of us have done that. Lydia is going to give you two experiences of her time there to talk about. So Lydia, they're all yours.
Thank you, Brett.
Let me get it fast. You're good.
It'll be here in an hour.
Okay, is this working for everyone?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this fairly brief. I was much more, the other presentation is a lot more exciting, I feel like. So yes, I had two experiences at Helen Keller. The first one, I went in 2022. I was there from February until early July, and I would say that one was a really good experience. At that time, my blindness has always been the same since birth. My hearing has since changed. At the time, I had really good hearing on my left side, not on my right, which has always been a thing for me. And so I really enjoyed my first experience meeting and networking with a lot of deafblind individuals. I hadn't even really found out about SASI yet, and so I enjoyed just meeting people with the same disability, because sometimes, like, it was great meeting folks who are blind, but I was like, it was still not fully relatable because they didn't also have the hearing loss that I did, and so everyone who was blind was relying on their ears. So anyway, that was lovely. That was one of my first, like, big, wow, this is gonna be great. And then I also worked on technology training. I explored some vocational careers and areas of interest. I worked with audiology. I got my first, like, pair of working two hearing aids together. I had just a right hearing aid, and the audiologist got me two working hearing aids. I also, let's see, I did all kinds of things there. They have a social worker who can kind of help with, anything, like, there's a lot of mental health components, right, to, disability sometimes, and so she was lovely, still is too, but I'm, like, first time, she was a great help, and she facilitated, like, a hard of healing group, and that was a great connection. So there were a lot of really, really positive things my first time around. The only thing I would say about the first time and this second time I went in this year, 2025, from March until April, is I would not eat the food. I had food poisoning twice. Once I was in the hospital, I went on a brief vacation and, I got so sick from the food, I got hospitalized while I was in Florida with my mom trying to enjoy Cardinal spring training. My first time. So that was, but other than that, that was really the only, I mean, there were things here and there, but generally speaking, like memorable, that was the only big thing. Staff were great the first time. I did have to work with resident staff on like not grabbing my cane, giving directions, etiquette, because that's something I found, the first time around, and then the second time for certain was a lack of training in the residents, like the training staff were great, but the residents definitely needed more training. I think there's a lot of turnover. And briefly, I mean, it's my second experience for me was really negative, so I don't want to spend like a ton of time on it. Basically, what happened was I went because and I still do at this point, experience total deafness sometimes, where I just abruptly hear nothing out of either ear. And so I went to learn some tactile sign language as a method of communication. I had put together a lot of things on my own, for communication methods and had just hoped that, you know, the second time around they were going to be able to help me with some new ideas and more effective strategies. And just kind of keeping it short and sweet, they did not have those skills this time around. Again, there was a lot of staff turnover. I think COVID and economic everything has a lot to do with that. But anyway, that was a big challenge. So I really didn't get the instruction I needed, and then they knew like some basic tactile signing, like how to finger spell, how to do like that there was an emergency of some kind, like convey that to someone. Otherwise, I was kind of out of luck. And I had already learned how to finger spell before. I also just again briefly, there was a lot of lack of training, mostly in the residents, but even in the training building, I felt like where they, you know, do the day-to-day instruction on etiquette with a guide dog, like I just went over in my first presentation. Just a lot of not helpful behaviors, like feeding him, distracting him with like smoochy noises, and they were like booty, 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 while he was actively guiding. And then it got to the point, he lost his motivation to guide. He was, I think, honestly, I think it came from him not wanting to hurt me, just because he was so distracted. And so he would just like stand there and shake and do nothing. And anyway, so he had to go back for retraining. I'm so proud of him though, because I mean, I can't say enough about guiding eyes and how responsive they were. And it worked out. They were like less than an hour away. So they were able to, they came out once and tried to help. That didn't work. So he went back for training for 2 months. And they worked with him on just regaining his motivation and feeling like that he was okay and doing the right things and rebuilding that confidence so that he could be a safe guide dog. And it was heart-wrenching, I have to say, but I am really grateful for their hard work. And they've actually never, to my knowledge, had a dog recover from something like that. And this one here sure did. So I'm really proud of him. But it was a really rough experience. And I don't know now what the staff situation is like. I'm told that they tried to implement similar trainings, because of my experience. But I don't know. I had a good experience the first time. I did not the second time. So I would say, for anyone considering, you know, it's kind of at your own discretion. I would definitely maybe do a tour first and kind of see if you feel like it's the right fit for you and your needs. Yeah, I was definitely really, especially I think since it was a good experience the first time, I felt a strong sense of disappointment the second time that I was like, oh good, this is gonna be like, I'm gonna get what I need, and then it was like the complete opposite. So I think that made it feel even worse. Um, yeah, and then kudos to Andrea. She helped me out a lot, getting there and trying to help things with kind of the first day. And she was trying to help staff kind of understand and make sure I have what I need, and then was able to help me get back home. Since I didn't have Brody at that point, and then thankfully Brody in kind of late May was able to be reunited with me back at home. Guiding Eyes flew out to me and spent about a week or so training with us, and here we are. So, any questions?
One hand went up.
Glad you're back together.
Mary said, I'm glad you're back together.
Me too.
Corinne said, me too.
Sarah, I just had a question. How many students or clients, that's probably the better word, would you say were being serviced while you were there? And were you grouped? Like, or did you have your own individual person trying to assist you?
Yeah, good question. So when I first came, there were about a dozen students. Some of them had completed their program. A majority of others also dropped out because they were feeling similar frustration, and so was the state that was sponsoring their training. Kind of feeling similar frustration at not receiving services, and so um, hold on one second.
He just stood up and readjusted.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So yes, several had started, like started, finished their program, but then a lot had left because of kind of disappointment. I mean, I was the only one with a guide dog, but yeah. And then we were all so classes are typically taught one-on-one with one client and one instructor, but then we're all kind of with the same staff and do things as a group usually.
No other hands.
Okay.
No hands on Zoom either.
Okay.
Your microphone is being walked around.
Okay.
Do you have any closing statements or anything? Are you ready for Brett?
Yeah, I mean, thank you everyone for your time, and I hope you've found both presentations useful, and feel free to, if you have questions, text, email, I'll be here too in person, so yeah, just let me know if you have questions and want more information.
Okay, hey, thank you, Lydia. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you again, Lydia, for that. And I want to just say something kind of to close this out. Our goal is never to tell you to go or to not go to any particular center like HKNC. We have a great relationship, SASI does, with HKNC and with Beth. However, it is true that there have been some negative experiences there, and there have been some positive ones too. Like Lydia kind of got a taste of both. So, like she said, and this is what I did, tour the center if you can before you go. That's what I did. I my parents and I spent the night one time, and then a few months later we came and they spent the first 2 days with me. So we made sure I was all set up. The one thing I will say, and this is good if you're going to go to any sort of a training center or university or anything, be sure you can advocate for yourself. I went to 2 of these training centers. I went to WSB, I went to HKNC. I had some tough experiences there, partially because I wasn't quite ready to advocate for myself like I should have been. And I think had I been, it would have changed a lot. So just be aware of that. Okay. Well, moving on. We're actually pretty good now on time. Do we want to do, I apologize, the ducks were misplaced. I was not able to find them. We will find them for next month. But do we want to nonetheless do a 50-50?
Raise your hand if interested.
What's a duck? What? What? Duck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody.
what's a duck.
Yeah, what's a duck?
Yeah.
So the last few months we've played a game called Lucky Ducks, where you purchase ducks for a chance at winning some money. Basically, the more ducks you have, the longer you can stay in the game, and the goal is to predict whether the coin will land on heads or tails. And the last one standing wins half the pot, so it's nice.
Who won last month?
So Gary won at the picnic. Who won last
Kim.
month?
Kim Vaughn.
Kim Vaughn.
Woo-hoo, lucky Kim.
Yeah.
Brett, I do have those fundraiser flyers.
Okay. We've got fundraiser flyers too.
If you need a, low vision, a large print, can you ask them to please raise their hand?
Okay. If you need a large print flyer, can you raise your hand? This is for the Smoking Barrels fundraiser.
Are you still gonna send it out by email?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey Brett, it's Corinne.
Uh-huh.
It also said in your email that they will be available at the restaurant.
Yes.
Oh, that's good then.
But she just put your flyer in front of you.
Oh, good.
Again, it's Monday through Thursday, the 13th through the 16th of October at Smoking Barrels.
Bob, your flyer's in front of you.
Okay. All right.
Julia's walking around with it.
Yeah. Well, when you do.
Flyer,
I know you're doing it.
fundraiser.
No,
I was gonna put the duck in.
Still have some more flyers?
Yeah, Julia's walking around with her jack.
Pardon?
Oh, okay. We take.
Here's Mike.
We have a hand up.
Do you want a flyer?
No, I don't. I'll wait. Thank you.
I did.
You know, you should have done that.
Raise your hand for a flyer.
Eric, if you want a flyer, yeah. There you go. Very sad. Do you want a low vision one or a regular one? Do you want a large print? Okay. Lydia, do you want one? Are you in town yet?
No,
Not yet? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, buddy. I'm just gonna walk behind you, bud. All right. All right.
Hey, Jacob. Do it.
Okay. I'm back. Flyers are passed out.
Okay.
Will you announce that it's also on the Facebook SASI page with an image description?
Okay. Also, guys, the flyer is on our Facebook page with an image description.
Oh, no, I saw.
Be here, don't be here in an hour now.
All right, so what was our verdict on the? Are we good? Are we?
Yeah, everybody's kind of just talking to each other.
Okay, what was our verdict? Did we want to do the 50-50?
Nobody raised their hand.
Okay.
You might announce that we have a visitor.
We
Esther.
do have a visitor joining us today. Her name is Esther. Esther, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Does
Nice
Kim
to
have
meet you.
anything?
Thank you for coming.
Does Kim have anything? Birthdays.
Does Kim have anything your mom is asking?
Kim, what about birthdays, anniversaries? Do we have any of that?
They got it. There you go.
Hey, I don't think we
Punch.
Oh,
There we go.
I mean, switch hands. 'Cause I'm-
Okay. All right, we're gonna start in June, and the birthdays in June were, Kelly Murphy was June 2nd. Abby was June, no, I'm sorry, Kelly Murphy was June 1st, Abby was June 2nd, and Lisa was June 10th.
Yeah, we got us an old guy. How old are you, Melody?
82.
82, and he's just. Wow. Harry just said we got that van.
Over here.
Wait. Yeah, Esther just said, wow. And Eric is saying he's younger than, you're younger than Willard. Yeah.
I think half of Sassy was, born in July. We have.
All right, so,
Kim's still talking, Brett.
sorry.
Kim's still talking.
Okay.
Hey, guys. Hey. People are talking. Okay, Kim. We'll finish. Continue.
July birthdays were Rhonda Jones, on July 1st. Jeff Wilson was July 2nd. Linda Tinkler was, oops, it's hard for me to read this. July 27th, and so was Linda Taylor. And we have our new member, Jack Link, was July 28th.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
We have, in August, both Jim Murphy and Jeannie Jaco are on August 19th, and Corinne August 22nd, and
Yeah.
I thought there was one other person, but I'm sorry, I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry, Harry, and Harry was, August 31st.
Wow.
Oh. September is, Laura Ziliak, which she's, September 3rd. Marsha Martin is, September 7th. Justin Tompkins was September 8th. Willard, the 24th. And we also had,
Julie Olmsted on, September 24th, and William was September 28th.
Happy birthday,
No, at all.
Hand up. I'm coming, Rhonda.
Oh.
Right,
I don't even wanna talk about it.
should we sing for the birthday people?
Yeah.
Alright,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
All right, this is Rhonda Jones speaking, the big mouth as usual. Gary and I celebrated our 14th anniversary on September 17th. That's right. Happy anniversary.
September 2nd. Oh, beautiful. Rhonda, it's Corinne. I really wish. Okay, Victoria's coming with the microphone.
Yeah.
Say your
But
name.
it's correct, thank you. It's Corinne. Rhonda, I really wish you would have put the microphone to your mouth when we were singing happy birthday, because your voice is so beautiful.
You didn't give me the microphone. It was right there. Huh? Can you guys remember?
It makes me smile, but on September 2nd, Robert and I, we celebrated our.
Which one? 18th. Did your microphone just die?
Kim celebrated.
Say it again, Kim. Say it again, Kim.
Robert and I celebrated our 18th anniversary on September 2nd.
That's a close for a sanity check. And he's not in here, so he can't defend it.
Not here to offend myself.
Yeah, that's right, Jack. He's not here to offend himself.
Have a hands up.
Hi, this is Chris. Me and Randy celebrated 38 years in July.
I did, my we did, so long.
When?
Oh, no, Harry is 48.
One more hand.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
She had another hand.
Thank you. Okay, this is Mary Hale, and, I'm just gonna say this would have been Mike and I 54th. But we made it to 50. He passed 4 months after our 50th. So we didn't make 50.
So, yeah. Bless his soul.
Amen.
It makes better wouldn't laugh.
He was a-
Right.
I said, they said it wouldn't last. He was a neat guy.
He was.
I like Mike.
Gary had ruler feet. Oh, he's 86.
Gary is.
Yeah, so you're.
Okay. I think everybody's done raising their hand.
Okay, so our next segment then that we're gonna do is members info. So any sort of announcements or things that you may have had exciting coming up in your life or that's just happened to you, we want to hear about it.
Bob has his
Hang on
hand
one
raised.
sec. Rhonda, did I just hear that Gary turned 86 on his birthday? Yep. Wow.
Wow.
86, yeah.
Burn the house down, Gary.
Let's not call him.
86.
Let's not call him Bob.
Okay, it's Bob Jaco. Last month, was it last month at Icon Tech? We did they did a demonstration on the DA2 talking book, the new talking book player.
I got mine too.
Oh, you did get it, okay. Yeah, I've got mine, I got an email in August that said, your DA2 is on the way. and he showed up that afternoon.
Wow.
And, I just, after the demonstration, I've got it all hooked up to, my internet. It's all working. It's great.
That's cool.
Any more?
I got.
Yeah, oh, then.
First, we all like to celebrate Tasha going back to work at the lighthouse.
All right.
Very Castro this is. Actually, what I'd like to ask is, something new is coming out and they're gonna demo it here at Society, and they're also bringing it up to the lighthouse where I work, about replacing the cane with some type of a robot thing. And then they're gonna show a demo up there on it. I signed up for it. I don't know if I'll get in it or not, but, just didn't know if anybody heard anything more about that. Okay.
Got one order. I got one order.
You got one? Okay, talk about it.
Talk about it. Yes. I don't know.
Okay, basically, it's a, this is Tasha. Basically, it's a robot king. If anybody know, it looked like a hand, it looked like an old push vacuum thing. Yeah, because they have the two wheels. It's got the two big wheels, and on the top will have a camera, and on the bottom it have a camera, and it's supposed to tell you, it's supposed to see where you're going, and it's supposed to take you to your counter and find the elevators and all that good stuff. It's like a guide dog, for something you don't have to take care of, no good. And as of yesterday, I got an email saying that the pre-order is open again, just for FYI. I ordered one, when I ordered it was 40% off, I think it was, and I should get mine sometime in spring. No, it was, the original price was 1,500. Worth every penny.
Now, one more. Oh, hang on, sorry. This is Sarah. The Glidus demonstration here at Society for the Blind is October 22nd. There are 2 time slots. One is a late morning and one is a mid-afternoon.
Yeah, 11:30 or 2.
Okay, one more. Mary had her hand up.
And before anyone else, for those of you who either want to see it again or want to see it more, or who can't get into the society demo, I believe we're gonna have a demo of it, or at least a presentation on it for ICANN Tech come October.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll just get Tasha to demo.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, she said work that day, though, Harry.
Yeah.
She said work that
I'll
day,
give her
Harry.
$20.
No. Here's the thing. She's at work that day. No, that is my baby. Wait, guys.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is Mary again. Now that I know we're doing announcements, I just want to remind all of you that this upcoming Tuesday, Gab 4, and we call that Gab 4 because it's the 4th Tuesday of the month, always, we're playing bingo. So bring 1 or 2 things worth $1 or 2, that's it. Come have fun right here in this room, 10 to 12. And I'm reminding you because I sent out an email reminder and I put the wrong darn date on it. So it is next Tuesday, the 23rd. I hope to see some of you there.
Anyone else? Okay.
No hands.
All right. Well, this is Brett. I will tell you, first of all, on Monday of this week, several of us went to
Could you let them know that there's a lot of chatter?
Hey, there's a lot of chatter going on, and
Too much chatter.
that makes it hard for some people to hear, so if we can try to keep that down. Some of us on Monday went to the Cardinals game in the Coca-Cola box. We have pictures. I think we'll be posting those. Those of you who went, did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
That-
Other than your practice, in.
All right. Well, a couple of announcements. Well, one announcement from me. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the American Association of the Deafblind, or AADB. They are an advocacy group, national deafblind advocacy group, and they held elections recently, and I was elected as a member at large to their board. I take office in February, so. Also coming up, we talked about the holiday party. Is there anyone who missed info on the holiday party or smoking barrels? Just checking.
No hands.
No hands
Okay.
up.
See, there's something else, and I can't remember what it was. October's Name That Tune on the 18th.
Yeah.
There is a cool prize for the winners. And then of course we have November 15th, the holiday party. That's the SASI meeting, and that's Name That Tune. So at 12:30, for those of you who are able and willing to stay a little longer, this is not something SASI is doing or endorsing, but it is happening here in this room. Kainisha Hicks, many of us know, she's a former SSP. She'll be here for a few minutes selling cakes for a fundraiser she's doing, either by the slice or entire cakes. I believe it's $4 a slice or $45 for a cake.
What is that? Fundraiser.
What are you asking what it's for?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd be more comfortable having Kainisha tell you, only because it's not a SASI endorsed or sanctioned event.
Idea.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that is it. So, we will see you all next month, I'm sure. Oh, and of course, thank you to the interpreters, SSPs, volunteers. And thank you, Sarah and Esther, for coming.
You ready to go in? Yes, Bob. I do, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm just walking away, I'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right
Stop
back.
being recorded.